Good morning. Welcome to Anthea's Analogies. Good morning, everyone. Just a little time as you all start to enter. Good morning. This is week 10. Week 10, people. I just can't believe how fast the weeks are going. We're in September. I'm hearing the word Christmas bounding around already. September, people, week 10. Welcome. Good morning to Anthea's Analogies. Let me know you're there. Send me a comment. Let me know you're there so I can shout you out this morning. Good morning. Week 10. Now, Anthea's Analogies. I'm a visual person, and to help me better understand things, I like to compare it to something else so that I can relate and deeper and further understand. So when talking about our relationship with God, I sometimes use analogies to try and help me. However, no analogy will fit perfect enough to explain God. So I do say, don't resist, relate. We can all start to look for ways we can pick through an analogy as to why it doesn't work. But let's focus on the reasons why it does work. Good morning to you all. Don't resist, relate. Good morning, Vera. Good morning, Sue. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Jillian. Good morning to you all. Morning. Welcome. Week 10. We're in September. I can't believe it. Christmas is bounding around already, trying to plan and set up for that. Isn't time going fast? Anyway, week 10 of Anthea's Analogies. This morning, we're looking at the palm tree. I hope you all have your costumes ready. I am taking you to the beach. So we're thinking about palm trees, but first of all, let's get into the Bible. So, Psalm 92, verse 12 is what we're focusing on this morning. Psalm 92, verse 12 reads, "The righteous will flourish like a palm tree." It's as simple as that this morning, people. The righteous will flourish like a palm tree. Psalm 92, verse 12. Now, why did God use the palm tree as an example of ways of flourishing? So let's look at the palm tree. So, I think the reason he used the palm tree is because God knew that we would go through difficult times. Never said this thing's going to be easy. Never said that your relationship with him would be easy, that your journey through life would be easy. But he says the righteous will flourish like a palm tree. Now, the interesting thing about a palm tree is that when it's bent over by strong winds, you see, this is the only tree that when strong winds actually hit this palm tree, it can actually go from here to here. It bends that much. And when it goes through that process of strong hurricane winds, etc., where it goes right down onto the ground, it goes through extreme stretching. And what happens is, through that extreme stretching, it actually strengthens the root system. So you might think to yourself, well, hold on, if it's bent over that much, you're weakening it. But no, with the palm tree, when it bends right over and it's literally horizontal now, it's strengthening the root system, giving it new opportunities for growth. So after the storm, when the palm tree straightens up, it's actually stronger than it was before. Good morning, Caroline. Good morning, Karen. Good morning to you all. Welcome. Give me a shout in the comments if you're joining me this morning. Good morning and welcome. We're talking about the palm tree. Now, when that palm tree goes through that time of standing tall, and palm trees are very, very tall. So when it goes through those hurricane moments and it's bent over, stretching it beyond compare, is actually strengthening the root system. And God uses the palm tree as an example this morning. The righteous will flourish like a palm tree. Why? Because when we go through difficult times, what it does is strengthen our root system and we come back stronger than before. So when we come out of the storm that's meant to defeat us, we straighten back up. We're not the same. We're going to be stronger, healthier, wiser, better off, ready for new growth. Now, all this week, good morning, Patrice, all this week, Karen has been talking about our emotions and self-reflection, identifying a problem. And she used an analogy yesterday about being in a courtroom. Now, the first thing you have to do is identify the problem, because you can't fix a problem if you don't know that it's there. So first of all, we have to almost admit and identify that there's a problem to be fixed in the first place. So the first point of call is admitting, and she spoke about this yesterday. And because you won't know what the problem is unless you fix it. Now, she said about going inside of us, taking it to self-reflection. I don't know if anyone used to keep a diary when you were small, dear diaries, she talked about writing out your day. Now, the reason why we have to go into self, reflecting on things, to understand what the problem is because that's where God is. God is inside of us. The Holy Spirit dwells inside of us. So we go to self, inside of us, to find out how we go through our problems. Now, Karen mentioned yesterday she's a reflector. She likes to reflect and she'll ask herself all these 1,000,001 questions to dissect and see why it is she feels the way she feels, etc., etc. I am the total opposite. I will very keenly bury that problem deep, 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 so I can't even access it. I fill up myself with other things, busying myself to make sure I don't have time to even dig it up from the point of where I put it. That's me. I don't like to reflect. But it's something that I'm learning is more beneficial for me to sit down and actually ask myself some questions and find out not only what it is I'm feeling, but why it is I'm feeling that way, which is what Karen was talking about yesterday. Sorry, people, not quite sure what happened there, but I think I'm back. The enemy will not stop me getting this message out today. So, back to the palm tree. The righteous will flourish like a palm tree. With every difficulty that we go through, with every mess, there is a message. With every test, there is a testimony. So, I'm going to share my testimony today. Now, I have a thing with lateness. All my family and friends will tell you, if I organize something, and some of you may have heard this already because I did share a bit of my testimony in my sermon Sunday gone. But I have a thing with lateness. If someone's coming to pick me up for us to go somewhere and we agree on a time, good morning, Rosie, lovely to see you. We agree on a time. That person's late. I have to admit, people, I'm upset. I'm angry. And it kind of ruins the rest of the day for me. And it's happened to me many times. And when I think about it, it is really like not beneficial to myself. And, you know, if I'm going somewhere and I'm late, the anxiety that I feel whilst on that journey being late is deep. If I've organized a function and I've set a time and people are late, I'm upset. It annoys me. It annoys me, people. And it goes deep. I had to sit down and actually ask myself. It was my brother actually came up to me and he said, you know, Anthea, it's not that serious. Like, what's wrong with you? Why are you getting so angry and so upset? And I actually had to stop. It took years, people, years. I was like this for a long time. And it almost got to the point that I made it part of my identity. I claimed it. It was a thing for me. You know, as Karen said yesterday, we start to build up a case. And all the negative things we start to build up. And it started to build up in me so much that as I've got older, it just got worse and worse. To the point where I have to literally sit down and calm myself down, speak to myself. And I had to think to myself, well, where's all this coming from, Anthea? Where's this coming from? And I dug deep, you know, and I went right back to school days. This is where it took me, right back to school days. I actually prayed and asked God to show me, why is it I react in this way? Why is it I have all these emotions when it comes to lateness? And God showed me when I grew up. I have a very a father who is a disciplinarian, and I only lived like 2 minutes away from my school, and he always said to us, if ever we on our report cards, our school report, do you remember those times? The anxiety you'd feel when that school report is coming to the parents. If ever it had late on that school report, we were in trouble. Because my dad was a stickler for time. If we were going out, he'd tell us what time we're leaving. If we're not ready, it's a problem. And that little Anthea back then, when I get to those moments of lateness, she surfaces. And all the anxiety and fear comes into me. And God showed me, this is the reason why you're like this, but I'm going to help you through it, Anthea, because it's not benefiting you at all. Because as I said, there'll be time, it will stay with me for the rest of the day and spoil the rest of the event that I'm going to, or just spoil everything from that. Because all I could think of in my head is, oh, you're late, or I'm late, or, you know, it really sat that deep within me because I built up a case around it, as Karen said yesterday. Now, with every lawyer, when I think about it now, with every lawyer, they assess a case first and decide whether they are going to take on that case. Is it a worthy case? Will the ends justify the means? In terms of, like, some people may have a case against somebody, but it will cost them more trying to prove this case and win it than if they just left it. And there is a term that I always go by. We do have to pick and choose our battles. Pick and choose our battles. Not everything is a battle. And when we turn to God, this is where the analogy of, as he says, the righteous will flourish like a palm tree. Sometimes we have to go through those difficult times where we're bent and stretched, shaped and molded, because God is strengthening our root system so that when we stand tall, we stand stronger. We stand stronger. So identifying the mess. I had to admit to myself that, Anthea, this might be something you need to look into here. This may be a problem. This is not normal reactions. Whatever normal is. But I had to identify and admit to myself first that this is something that runs deep in me. Let me go inside myself to see why that is. In going inside myself, I met with God. Because as I said, God dwells within us. And when we self-reflect, as Karen said yesterday, we self-reflect with God to understand those ways in which we are wired. Why is it our emotions play out the way they do? Why is it things affect us the way they do? Go inside yourself. Ask, as Karen said, ask the questions. Now, she's good at asking herself the questions. Sometimes we need help in getting those questions answered. What are the questions? So it's about who you turn to get help, who you speak to about it, but taking it to God first to show and identify it with you, and also stepping back and listening to the answer. Sometimes we don't like to ask a question because we're scared of what the answer might be. Sometimes we don't want to face things because we're scared of what the outcome could be. But you have to address things, be bold enough to address it and identify it in order to move on. Now, in my situation of the lateness, it's not affecting the other person. Who's it affecting more? It's affecting me. The other person's late and going about their merry way. They're fine. But I'm sitting there letting it boil up my blood pressure, letting it get me all angry, letting it affect me, letting it affect the whole way I am, the whole way I am in myself throughout the rest of the event or whatever, wherever it is I am. So we have to look at how, as I said in my sermon, we can't control people. What we can control is ourselves. So when we get into difficult situations, we need to go into ourselves, ask God the question as to why is it I'm reacting this way? Why has that hurt me so much? Why has it brought me to tears? Why has it made me so angry? Why am I so frustrated? Why has it affected my whole day? We need to ask ourselves those questions. What is it that happened in the past that has me with all these defense mechanisms up? All these buttons that, when pushed, causes me to react in this way. What is it about me? What happened? Have I dealt with it? Is this why it surfaces in the way it does? Go to God with it. Seek God in prayer. Ask God to show you. And as that tree bends, as we go through those challenges and we go through those trials, or, look at the last year we've had. What has it taught us? What has it brought to the surface that we now need to deal with and can deal with? Because God is trying to strengthen our root system. And just like the palm tree, when it, after the hurricane passes, then stands up, He never brings you out the same. I'm a lot better now, I have to say. Took it to God, Don't get me wrong, He's still working on me. But I am no longer the same. I'm not allowed it to take control of me in that way. We give things and people license to control us in certain ways when we hold ourselves hostage in that way. I feel so much freer now. I can allow myself not to get so riled up and, upset and angry in those moments anymore, because God never brings you out the same. You're stronger. You are stronger. Your roots grow and are becoming stronger. That stretching and molding and shaping enables us to be stronger. Now, I'm going to listen to a song this week. And the song that we're going to listen to is called Most Beautiful, So in Love. Again, by Maverick City. You may have guessed by now, me and Kyle love Maverick City. We love their songwriting and just the whole compilation, how they worship. So you'll see a lot of examples of their songs. And this one I'm going to play is called Most Beautiful, So in Love. And it's talking about God. It's talking about our relationship with God and how when we turn to Him, all it takes is just one look. He goes, with just one look, everything changes. I'm captivated. I'll never be the same with just one look. When we take that look into ourselves, as I said, that is where you will meet God, because God is within us. That Holy Spirit dwells within us. And in the song it talks about dwelling and laying it all at God's feet. Dwelling in His presence. One look is enough to change everything. With just one look, my life was changed. My body was healed. My family restored. My life rescued with just one look. So my encouragement this week, when we take a look at the palm tree. Psalm 92:12, the righteous will flourish like a palm tree. When we're going through those difficult times and challenges, it's all about our perception and how we think about it. If we actually twist it and think to ourselves, right, okay, I'm going through this trial and this challenge. It's not nice. It hurts at the moment. But I have faith enough to know that it's doing me good. It's making me stronger. I'm being shaped and molded. Let me just take it to God. Just one look changed everything. Changed my life. Restored. Healed. Rescued. And it says, in one of the verses, it says, you're not the only one looking. But He says, I am looking too. God is looking too. He says, with just one look, I see my son and daughter, and I don't have to second guess. I don't have to second look. With just one look. So I really want us to listen to the words of this song today and think about when you get into those times of challenge. Life's not easy, we know that. You face all the challenges. I'm always telling the school children, enjoy your school days. Those are the best years of your life. When you become an adult, yes, that's when all the things come. But even the youngsters nowadays, the things that the youngsters are going through, most of us didn't go through. Some of us don't even go through in our entire life. But what we need to do, self-reflect, go inside ourselves, find God, take it to God. Karen said yesterday about writing it out. That helps. Sing it out. Whatever works for you, but allow it to come out as you address what's happening. Identify it. Don't be scared not to address it. In order to fix a problem, you have to identify it. And it's just not even seeing it as a problem, but seeing it as, okay, this is what happens to me. This is my reactions. This is how I'm feeling right now. Okay, I spoke about emotions. But we take it deeper. We take it deeper. This is what has brought to the surface. So let's dig deeper to find out what it is actually causing me to feel this way. And let's deal with that. Because once we deal with that, then our surface will look different. And not only that, you deal with the foundations. Therefore, it's making you stronger. Because when you next come up against the same problem or the same challenge, you will handle it differently because you're stronger now. And you're doing that with God the whole time. So let's listen to the song. I want you to maybe even close your eyes. Close your eyes. Good morning, Mary. Close your eyes. Listen to the words of the song and what he's saying about God and your relationship, and how when we turn to him, what that can do for us. Let's listen to the words. This is Most Beautiful, So in Love by Maverick City.
I'm in love with you. No one else can take your place. One thing I desire, only this I see, just to dwell here forever. This will be my posture, laying at your feet. Oh, just to dwell here forever. Dearest Father, closest friend, most beautiful, most beautiful. You are, dearest Father, closest friend, most beautiful. You are most beautiful. One thing I desire, only this I see, just to dwell here forever. This will be my posture, laid at your feet. Oh, just to dwell here forever. Dearest Father, you are most beautiful. Your presence most beautiful. You are, dearest Father. dearest Father, the closest friend, most beautiful. You are, most beautiful. Oh, and there are no words. There's nothing missing. Oh, no, 'cause you've been that good to us. 'Cause you've been that faithful to us. My love, my life, let it sing. There are no words. This is my story. This is my song. Praising my Savior all the day long. There are no words. There's nothing left. I know. Lift up your worship, lift up your
The grace God gives. Take it to God, people. Seriously, this morning. Know how God is there for us in all our needs, whatever we are going through. Seek God to understand. Seek God in the shaping and molding. He's created us all with a specific purpose in life. And sometimes we are scared to ask the question we don't want to know the answer to. So we bury it. If you're anything like me, you bury it, you avoid it at all costs, and you find very interesting ways to busy yourself so you don't have to address it. And addressing it is the first step. God will take you the rest of the way. But we have to address it first and bring it to Him. Bring it to Him. One look, that's all it takes. One look. The righteous will flourish like a palm tree. We will go through difficulties, we will go through storms, we will go through trials and situations that aren't easy to process, that aren't easy to handle. But know that in that process of going through it, you're stretched, you're being stretched, you're being shaped, you're being molded. And you come back stronger, just as the palm tree. When it then stands again, it stands stronger because it strengthened the root system. And what we need to do is go back to the root. Go back to our Creator. Go back to the manufacturer. Because that God is the person that created you and knows what needs tweaking, what needs shaping, what needs molding. So don't see it as problems, challenges. Don't see it as all negative, because God will turn it around for your good. It could be happening just to make you stronger and also for you to share your testimony. As I said, every mess that you go through, there's a message. Every test you go through, there is a testimony. And me sharing my testimony with you this morning, I hope, will help you, give you a comparison. Don't resist it, relate. Give you a comparison. Are there areas in your life that need addressing? Are there questions that you need to ask that you've been scared to ask because you're worried about what the answer might be? Strip away some of that busyness, strip away some of the defense mechanisms and coping mechanisms that we put up just to try and get through the day so we don't have to address things. Strip some of that away. Actually ask yourself the questions. Why do I feel like this? Why do I react like this? Ask yourself. You're only in control of yourself. You can't control other people. Human beings will always hurt us. Human beings will always let us down. God is the only God will never let you down. So seek God. Seek God in what you can do for yourself, in your development, in your system, in your strength system. Take it to Him in prayer. Take that with you this morning, people. Remember the palm tree. Palm trees that we love to be around on beaches. Oh, remember those days. I pray that we get to be on a beach again one day. For those of you that are already around a beach, don't take it for granted. And every time you see that palm tree, remember, all that you go through is not always bad. It's strengthening. And God will turn it around for your good. Thank you very much. Join Karen tomorrow morning for morning prayer, where we Thankful Fridays, where we thank God. We have to thank God for everything that we go through. Everything that we've been through has caused us to be the person we are today, the good and the bad. And that journey just keeps going on. It's all about how we perceive it and how we address the areas in our lives. Have a blessed day. Come and join me again next week for more Anthea's Analogies. Take care, people. Have a great day. God bless.
Just one look, everything changes. I'll never be the same. It's just one look.
Everything changes. Just one look. Have a great day. God bless.